Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Thursday, friends. How are we doing? Hello, Iron Knight. Hello, Matt. Hello, Hunter. Hello, Aaron. Hey, Harry. I hope everyone's doing well. And beautiful landing, first thing there, Hunter. I saw Matt redeemed the little Animal Crossing victory sound for you. I clapped along. Oh, goodness. It's been a morning. It's been a morning so far. One of the cats threw up on the rug and I had to clean it. That wasn't a big deal. I made an oopsie. In my entire life, I've never done this, but I messed up on my checking account. And I overdrafted not once, but twice. Yay, overdraft fees. So I ran to the bank this morning and moved some things around and got myself back in the positive. And I'm hoping the bank will waive the overdraft fees because I've never done this before. But oh my god, does it suck to wake up and see not only is your account negative, but you have like $64 even less than you're supposed to because of fees. They're like, you don't have money? Here, how about we charge you more money? So I'm a little shook over that because I've never done that. Never. I've never overdrafted my account before, but I mixed things up. I forgot about a check that I wrote last week. My dad doesn't have a bank account, so I pay my dad's bills for him and he gives me cash. And I wrote out his rent check last week, but they didn't cash it till this week, and I forgot about it when I was paying other bills. Oh, I feel so dumb over it, but I know it's something that just happens all the time. I'm like shook by it. I'm like so disappointed in myself for doing this because I've never done this before. So if I'm not in the best mood, that's why. Because I woke up to that. And cat throw up. But let's forget about that. If you've ever overdrafted and it really hurt you, I totally understand. Banks suck, man. I'm like kicking myself right now. I can't believe I did that. I forgot about the check. I called the bank. They said they can't do anything about it today because it happened overnight, but they left a note for themselves to request that it gets waived, for them to file a request for it to be waived tomorrow, and then you gotta wait 2 business days. So of course it's the weekend. So hopefully mid next week it'll be resolved. Just oh wait, why is my view stuck? Hello? Why am I zoomed in? There we go. Oh, I didn't open that other thing. I'm a mess right now. I'm sorry, guys. I almost didn't stream today. I almost was like, let's just not. Then I'm like, no, what am I gonna do? Sit here and beat myself up for making a mistake? No, this will be better. I can focus on this instead. Thanks, Harry. All right, is that working now? So that should be, I guess 90 is fine. 90 feels like a lot. Does this look like X? I feel like the zoom thing is zooming more than it usually does. Let's do that. Okay, 86. We'll stick with that. Okay. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I hope you've had a less stressful morning than I did. I didn't plan on running to the bank first thing this morning and then talking on the phone and being like, please Please, I've never done this before. Please forgive me. But I can see how those things add up like super quickly. How to word letters, that would work with the UK bank, so hopefully it would work with the US ones as well. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. I'm hoping that they'll just be nice and waive them, because I've had a bank account with this particular bank since I was a baby. My parents and my godparents opened, like, what are they called? They weren't savings accounts. It's like a passbook account or something like that. It was a savings account for children, basically. So I've had that since I was a baby, and then I did all my banking with them since I became an adult, and I've never done this. I've never let this happen before. But I can see how people get like buried under fees, because it was just one thing after another. Every time something hit the account, new overdraft fee. I'm like, what happened? Why is my account so negative? This has never been like this. But I appreciate that. It'll all work out. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just a little shook from it, because a negative amount in your bank account is a scary thing, especially when you're trying to pay bills. Luckily, the mortgage cleared. The mortgage is fine. I don't want a late fee on that. I just gotta remember. That rent check. I almost did this a few months ago, where I forgot that I had written the check and it just took forever to clear it. But I caught it before I actually paid something. I was like, wait a second, that's not real money. That is a rent payment. But whatever. What can you do except cry to the banks and please, like, please give me my money back. I didn't mean to. Alright, so what we're doing today. Right now my inventory is absolutely full of stone, because I decide we're gonna dig a tunnel. Well, I've started digging a tunnel. This path here, I want it to go all the way to Kisser Kong's house. So I'm gonna have the path come through here, and then I'm gonna dig this out so it's a big old tunnel. I'm thinking 3x3. And then this part is gonna open over there, so right in this area, we're gonna fill this in a bunch. Make a little bedroom on the path, just so you can, like a little refresh station with a bed and a little bit of storage and stuff. And then we'll carry the tunnel all the way through here. Then we gotta turn, because otherwise we don't line up with things. So, oh, there's some rocks I was digging out last night. Give me all these. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then this way. And then I gotta actually write down the coordinates for Kong's base, because I don't know exactly how we get there from here without flying. Oh my god, my whole inventory is just stone. Jules! Hello, Jules. How are you, my love? I made an oopsie. Did you hear? Alright, so if we go this way, that's the village. I guess we could come along here, maybe? Okay, there's his house. How do we get up to his house? I guess we could bring the path to over here. What just happened to my voice? Oopsies. I, for the first and second times ever in my entire life, overdrafted my bank account this morning, because I forgot about a rent check that I wrote out for my dad that hadn't cleared. So that was my morning. That and cat throw up. It's been fun. It's been a fun morning. So now I'm just hoping and praying that the bank will waive my overdraft fees, because I've never done this before. We're gonna sleep in Kong's bed. I've never done this. In my almost 33 years of life on this planet, I've never overdrafted my account. I'm so mad at myself. And then one of the cats threw up on the carpet, and I'm like, really? This is just the icing on the crap cake. It's kind of a big deal, though. It's kind of a big deal. If they don't waive it. Two of them. Two of them. One after the other. But what can you do? But yeah, that was my oopsies this morning. I hope your day's going better. Yeah, it's the fee that sucks. The person it's the worst. It's the worst indeed. Cause it wasn't just one fee, it's two fees. And the bank teller that I spoke with said that we can't file a request for it to be refunded the day it happens. We have to wait till the next day, you know, just to complicate things. So they left a note for themselves to file a request for me tomorrow. And he said the first one's probably going to be refunded, but he can't promise anything on the second one. So, whatever. I'm just so mad I let that happen. Okay, so I don't know what Kong has planned for this area. So maybe we'll just have the path. I don't want to go digging through his mountains, or else I would totally do a tunnel here too. I'll talk to him about that. How do we want to link this up to my path? So that might need like a staircase or something, unless we can bring it around there. But I'm guessing I can bring the path through this way. So the terrain's a little messy. We could fix this up a little bit. This isn't close enough to him that I think he'll care. He wouldn't care anyway. But we'll bring the path. That's a big hole. I hear monsters. Or down on this level. Where's this gonna come out? So it's gonna come out right there, across here. And I guess we could bring it along the side if we dig this like a path. Maybe we could put little fences here to kind of keep it in check. And even this out. Bring it along this way. I'll probably try to bring the path out to around here until I talk to Kong and figure out if we want to go tunnel or what we want to do. We have elytras, we have the nether tunnel, but I like there being like an overworld road, if that makes sense. My fee is like $30, but half the time my bank is like, we'll waive it for you, bestie. Just in those exact words, right? That's their policy, is we'll waive it for you, bestie. Thanks, Matt. I think it'll be okay. Worst case, I'm out like $32, I think. The guy seemed confident that one of them will get waived. He just couldn't promise anything on the second one. But I wish that was exactly the words that the bank teller said to me this morning was, we'll waive it for you, bestie. That would have been nice. Then I probably wouldn't be so shaken. I think the thing is I'm disappointed that I let it happen. Because I've never done this. But we'll waive it for you, bestie. So I think I'm going to have this open a little bit looking out at the ocean. Like maybe we'll do a little bit of glass in this section of the tunnel. And then I want to make like a little rest stop with like a bed and a chest and stuff like that here. So that'll have to go back a couple blocks. Let's dig out because we got some digging to do. If I want this tunnel to go straight through here, all this gravel's in the way, first of all. And I'm not worrying about being able to fly through this tunnel, because if you're going to fly where you want to go, then you're just fly not on the path. But I'd like us to be able to bring a horse through. Especially since this is the path my horse stables is on. Actually, speaking of which, is my horse even in there? I remember the skeleton horses. Oh, yes, okay. We have several horses, apparently. Hi, friends. Didn't know you were here. Totally forgot that you existed. But we got 4 more skeleton horses, too. So many skelly horses. So how's everybody else doing today? What are you up to on this fine Thursday? Doing anything fun? Getting ready for the weekend? I know, Matt, this is your Friday. Matt is lucky and gets 3 days off a week, but he makes up for all those hours during the week. Don't worry. He's still working a lot. But I'm a firm believer that 5-day work weeks are too much. I don't think anybody should be working 5 days a week. That's just how I feel, man. I should probably have dropped off some of the stone. Or maybe we'll just grab a shulker. Words are hard. And then we can use that stone to build up the areas we need to rebuild. Give me that and give me this. That can go stick. And fishing rod can go. Okay. There we go. Is work fun even on a week off? Wait, are you off this week? Did I forget about one of your weeks off, Matt? It's hard to keep up with you. To be honest, just doing nothing, but I'm fine. Sometimes nothing is what we all need. Hey, Keldon. I have a meeting in an hour and then I'm finally getting a haircut at 2. Yay! Very nice, Jules. Very nice. And you're coming down tomorrow, right? Is that correct? Working construction in 13-degree oh my god, that's so cold! What are you doing? Oh, that sounds terrible. I'm such a wimp when it comes to the cold. Are you like, do you not mind the cold? Are you one of those people who can tolerate freezing temperatures? I haven't really planned it out yet because my brain is broken. I feel that. I feel that. Big time. Well, let me know if you need rides or anything. My only thing is I have to give my stepdad a ride tomorrow afternoon at about 2:30. But if you come down before or after that, I'd be happy to pick you up from the station if you need. No pressure. Let me know. My day's open otherwise. Probably stream in the morning. And then Joe usually does a morning stream on Fridays. But I'm sure she'll understand if I have to pick you up from somewhere. Been off this week, but changed today for next Wednesday as Dad has car things going on. So it's easier for me to be off if he needs lifts, etc., and to look after Cleo without having to worry about work. Makes sense. Makes sense. So what, you have next Wednesday off instead of today? Is that what I'm reading? Brain not working great today. Many words. Sorted out. Iron Knight says, I love the cold, but the snow is a bit annoying. See, I am an absolute baby about the cold. That's why I'm always hat and blanket and warm beverages. But if you can tolerate it, all the power to you. Oh, it's very foggy there, Hunter? Is that like typical, or is this just like the current weather for you? Do you live in Silent Hill, Hunter? Jules. Hey, Beans, how are you? I'll be lurking and working. All right, happy working, Lurk. Thanks for being here. I hope you're doing well. Brain correctly. Yay! Yay, brain. Yay, brain. Brain do good. Oh, dark out. That's not good. Shall we go sleep? So all those sunflowers I put there because I was initially going to make this the sunflower field before I made that the sunflower field. No, I do not. I just live in a tropical place and it's cold. Ah. So fog. Silent Hill is full of monsters, but it's that air pollution that's a real killer. Right? Why'd I go this way? This is not the way. This is not the way. And I chose the path less traveled by. What's that? Is that an egg? No, it's an armadillo scoot. Okay, sure. Why not? Why not? Okay, so this is too wide right now. Give me that. And I want it to be 3 by 3. So this has all got to go too. And we'll fill this in a little bit. Because right now it's a little bit precarious. Just a little. Yeah, I think I'll make this glass, this part. My manager's team is dropping like flies. 4 out of 5 of them called in sick this week because their kids keep bringing colds, flu, other nasty stuff home. Ah! Gross. Gross. Yuck. All I'm saying is we should really focus on improving air filtration and air cycling. Getting fresh air, clean air into spaces like... Oh my god. You found it! You found it. We added a new sound alert for a ghast. I figured we needed one for when I'm in the nether. Or, you know, when I'm in the overworld. You never know. One might have magically found its way here. Or something. Thanks, Jules. I didn't really hide it, but look at you reading the things. Look at you. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, I am a big supporter of improving air quality and filtration and ventilation in spaces, public spaces, especially schools and even in daycares and government buildings and workplaces. If we improve air quality and get more clean air in, we as a society would be significantly less sick. Because, like, all those germs just linger in the air. Some of them are surface germs. But, like, think of how many just, like, illnesses kids bring home from school. And then their families get it. And they bring those germs to work. And then their people at work get sick. And it's just an endless cycle. But if we improve air quality, people would be less sick. Like, I really think this is something we need to significantly invest in as a society. As a whole. But that costs money. Are you suggesting we spend government money on making people healthy? I know, the audacity. The sheer audacity of me suggesting such a thing. But yes, that is exactly what I am suggesting. If people are mad about people like right now, chronic absenteeism is a huge issue for children, and people are complaining that people are short staffed and out of work. Okay, if people weren't sick all the time, they'd be able to work more. Just saying. If kids weren't sick all the time, they'd be attending school more consistently. I know. What's wrong with me suggesting such a thing? All I'm saying is I directly call my governor, not my governors, my senators and my representative on a regular basis to suggest we invest heavily in improving air quality, especially in schools and public spaces. Anyway, thank you for coming to yet another Thad Talk. What am I doing besides running? You know what, let's lay out where this path is gonna go. I need to get some more. What have I been using for wood? That looks like spruce, I think. So we'll get some spruce slabs to put here and here. I'm not really crazy about this angle, actually. Can we build this up a bit? And bring the path one more this way? Is that possible? Then we can just go at a slight angle. Okay, so shovel. And then we'll do slabs there and slabs here, and the path will go this way. Slabs, path this way. Turn, that's a pretty sharp turn. I wonder if we can make that a little more gradual. Got a little bit of dirt. So maybe we'll have the path start going like this. Yeah, no, just doing that in schools would be a huge thing, especially since right now everybody's so up in arms about absenteeism in schools and kids missing classes. And it's like, well, they keep getting sick over and over and over again because they're just passing the germs around. Cleaner air is always a good thing, but I think more direct contact and close proximity that spreads disease. That's why they keep saying 6-foot separation. But that was kind of proven to not be helpful because it lingers in the air. It's not like a surface thing, at least not with COVID. COVID is airborne and lingers in the air. So even if you're standing on the opposite side of the room from somebody, that air circulates and those germs carry. Which is why masking is so effective, because it catches those droplets and prevents them from being spread. And also pollution and allergies. Like, these are all things that would be not treated, but like improved through improved ventilation and air quality. I mostly just wish, yes. Those things combined do help. That's like, the more precautions we take with things like this, then the more effective they are as a whole, because nothing's foolproof. But I do strongly believe, and studies show, that improving ventilation and air circulation, cleaning the air that we're breathing, greatly cuts down on disease spread. At least the airborne ones. Which reminds me, I brought my PAX East tickets yesterday, so I need to get started on a mass cosplay. Ooh, You had a couple things you were throwing around, weren't you? Were any of those contenders for packs? Yes, Zeri. That's a great idea, Zeri. That would greatly cut down on disease. If we're all dead, we can't get sick. Ah, Zeri solved the problem. Sounds really cheap, too. I bet that wouldn't cost a dime. Hi, Zeri. How are you? Sorry I go on these rants so frequently. It's just something I'm pretty passionate about, if you couldn't tell. What am I doing? I just want people to be happy and healthy. Is that so much to ask? Air is the culprit for many diseases, right? I've wanted to do a Squirrel Girl cosplay for 6 years, and now she's popular again because of Marvel Rivals. Is that a superhero? I am not familiar with this Squirrel Girl you speak of, but I am intrigued. Okay, we gotta sleep. It's getting dark. Pyramid Head. Yes, I did hear you mention Pyramid Head recently. Also, I adjusted the timers on the command, like the timer commands a bit. So hopefully Nightbot won't just flood the chat anymore. Thank you for that reminder in mod chat, by the way, Jules. That was very helpful. Squirrel Girl is my favorite superhero. Her and Spidey. Why do I not know Squirrel Girl? Excuse me while I look up Squirrel Girl. Oh, she's cute. And I know how much you love squirrels. So now, do you love squirrels because you love Squirrel Girl, or do you love Squirrel Girl because you love squirrel? Or is it kind of like you don't know where one ends and one begins? Oh my god, we have a Mulder in the cat cam. Look at him. Look at this precious boy. Hold on. Oh my goodness. That's the wrong thing. Move this. Mulder. Mulder, what are you doing? Are you being a cutie little patootie? You're trying to take a nap and I'm waking you up. He's like, let me sleep. Also, I'm blurry. Why is the camera blurry? Can we fix that? Stay looking this way, boy. Hey, Mulder, look at me. Mulder! I needed to see your face. Okay, he doesn't want any more to do with this. That's fine. That's fine. Back to the video games. I love squirrels before I knew about her, so when I discovered her, it was the best day of my life. I love it. I love it. Did I miss anything else? Okay, don't think so. Don't think I missed anything. But I do love all the Mulder emotes, and I'm also gonna drop a Mulder emote. Let's see if he gets in the snow pile. Oh, we got bouncing. That's good. Not just drop it in the corner. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Maybe Hunter will land. Hunter, bounce off that far wall and get in the snow pile. You can do it. Oh no. Oh no. Does anyone else, when they say oh no, just feel like the guy from Cake? Oh no. Oh no. He does that like in all the songs. No, just me. Doop 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 doop. Doop doop. Alright, what do we got? We got a whole bunch of stuff. I would like to put away this armadillo scoot in here. Now we have 2. I have more at home, but... Oh, and I renamed some of my shulker boxes. Her appearances are mostly comedic, but like she's defeated Thanos into Deadpool and Wolverine and a bunch of other well-known characters, but it's always kind of goofy. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Hunter, you also feel like the guy from Cake? I don't know his name. Who's the singer of Cake? John McCrea. Good to know. Oh no. My brain. It's an interesting place. Hello, Elden Lord. Welcome in. Yes, we have a little kitty cat cam. Here, we can make it a little bit bigger and I can annoy him again. Mulder. Ooh, we've got a follower from Elden Lord. Thank you. Hi, sweetie. Can you say hi to the new follower? Can you? Yeah? Say hi. He's like, can I just please sleep? Pretty please? I would love to sleep. That is one of my 2 kitty cats. We also have a Scully. This is him in cartoon form. Scully and Mulder, our 2 kitty cats. And sometimes they hang out on the cat cam. From what I understand, they wouldn't show her defeating those villains. It kind of happens outside the panels and you just see the aftermath. Even better. You never see the squirrels do the things. I'm glad you like the cat cam. I'm just happy when there is a cat on it. Hi, Armadillo. Because there isn't always a cat on the cat cam. Because, you know, cats gonna cat. They'll do what they want to do. Alright, get rid of them. Nope, not trying to break the grass. I'm not trying to break the blocks. I was just trying to get rid of the grass. Not the grass blocks. Alright. Excuse me. And we'll probably mix some of the... What's it called? The dirt that doesn't turn to grass. With the gravel. Oh my god. My brain. Brain no work. Brain no worky. What can you do? Yes, he's a sleepyhead. Always. He's a sleepy boy. This. What is this? Coarse dirt. There we go. I couldn't remember what it was called. Well, we'll probably have the path with some of that along the way. And then that'll go into the tunnel. Okay, let's go grab some spruce slabs. We've done all the spruce slabs on this side. Why not continue it on the path over there? Maybe I have some down here. Spruce slabs? That's dark oak. There's spruce. Is this more spruce? Spruce. Boop, ba-doop, boop. And should we get some glass? Don't have that much glass. Let's go buy some glass from the villagers. Hi, Ricky. Would you like to buy... Oh, no, I didn't. I wasn't holding the pickaxe. Alright, a little bit of this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, wonderful. Oh, there's all our glass. Oh, we can buy more. Exactly, Zeri. Exactly. And I think we're gonna do lanterns in the middle of this. On the path. Alright, that'll probably be more glass than I need. Oh, I'm listening. I'm listening. Glass, 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 glass. Matt, have you started the new expedition? Kong started it, and he's said it's been pretty difficult. Jules correctly guessed what Keldon will be having for breakfast. Let's leave the copper here. We're not going to use that for anything right now. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. All right, how far can we get from this one? I've been using these a lot. I'm going to have to go into the trial chambers and get more breeze rods, especially now that I have 4 of them. All right, I wanted to go right about here. Slab, slab, slab. Slab. Oh, I forgot to grab the coarse dirt. Do I have gravel? I could make some. Or we could go back. It's already nighttime again. It's always nighttime. It's always nighttime. Okay. So this part will be that, and then when we get into the stone, I'll probably start using some stone slabs. And I think I want to carry this design for the, for this little lamppost over there along this part of the path. So probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 of them. 6 more. So I gotta grab some of those stones. Oh, the pumpkins grew back really quickly. Gotta get ready for the day. All right, Jules, happy lurking. Matt, you're gonna play the new expedition tonight? Very nice. Good luck with it. Kong says it's pretty challenging. Keldon, make sure you eat your ration brick. Alright, let's grab some coarse dirt. We don't have very much of that. A little bit of coarse dirt. And I want the stone. These. So let's take those. I'll also need the walls. We don't have very many of those. And a little bit of this. And then what did we use for the rest of it? Was it spruce? Was it spruce? Spruce fences? Drawing a blank. Let's put all this into a bundle if we can. So that's 40, 56. Ah, almost all of them. Good enough for now. Got the glass. I probably won't need any more of the spruce slabs, so let's just leave those in here. What is happening? I hear sounds. Oh, it's a cue drop time. What do you know? Thank you, Hunter, for redeeming the queue drop. Let's get that going here. Drops are queued for this game, so we're going to give you all about 5 minutes to get a drop in. Just do exclamation drop and an emote of your choice, and then in about 5 minutes, we'll all drop together. I'll set the timer now. Set timer, 5 minutes, please. Thank you very much. So all you gotta do is this, exclamation drop, and then you pick a little emo. I'll drop bundles, because I love bundles. There we go. That's in there. So yeah, feel free to put your drops in, and in about 5 minutes, we'll all drop together. I was putting those in there. Perfect. Oh, there's some dirt. And some more gravel. Okay. Grab this. And let's sleep. There we go. Elden Lord is in the drop. Zeri's in the drop. Who else? Who else wants to drop with us? Alright, I'm just gonna fly over there this time. Alright, what do we do with this? So yeah, it's... Oh, dang it, I didn't grab the spruce wood. We need fences and fence gates. Boop. Which I might have some. None of that is spruce. Oh, this is spruce. There we go, plenty. That's definitely more than we'll need. Perfect. All right, let's figure out where we want to place these. So I'm going to use this. I believe that's the base block that I have, right? Let's take a look at the design. It's been a while since I built these. All right, go stone brick, then the chiseled brick. Stone brick, then chiseled brick, then 2 walls. So if we carry this around here, maybe we'll do one here. I don't want it sticking over the path. So it looks like we've been leaving 2 blocks actually. So we might have to trim back this hill a little bit. Oh, okay. Cave sounds, cave sounds. Oh, dang it. No! Grass. Okay. Now, this is gonna go about here. And then let's go another, like, 2 here. How many blocks did I leave there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And actually, I think we want to bring it out 1 more because the path is starting to go that way. And then we'll do another 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so I think we're gonna put this one out here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll try one here. And then one just outside of it. And there's our timer for our cued drop. Anybody else want to get in on that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Guess there. Or maybe we should do these a little bit closer together so I can fit one more right about here. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, one more. All right, we'll do those 3 in a row. I might take out these. All right, we're doing our cue drop. You ready? Everybody got in their drops? Hunter's in, I'm in, Zeri, Eldon, Matt, Keldon, Iron Knight, and Snowbeans. If you did not hear your name, you do not currently have a drop. And we are going to be dropping in about 10 seconds. So you still have a quick second to get yours in. Exclamation drop and an emote. And we're dropping in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. We're dropping. Look at us go. Look at us go. What'll happen now? Zeri with the chaos bits. Thank you, Zeri. Thank you for mixing up a little chaos into this here. What can happen? Oh, Eldon, you just, you might have a good one there if that little drop. Oh no, going back. Guys, why are we all in that corner? Or that corner? Why are we all over there? What were we doing? Did we get our lines crossed? Did we mix up our lefts and our rights again? It happens to be all the time. I totally get it. But if we had just flipped this, we would have been in the right corner. I think most of us would have landed if things were reversed. So let's just erase that embarrassment. What cued drop? There's no cued drop. All right, the drop's refreshed. You can go back to your regularly scheduled drops. Chaos wins. Clappies for the chaos. Clappies for the chaos. It was cold. We wanted warmness. I totally get that, actually. You know, I bet there was hot chocolate on that side. That must be what it was. There was hot chocolate on the other side. Okay, my camera's very bright. One moment while we adjust that. Doop-a-doop. 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 That's a little better. Actually, this can totally point more at me. There we go. That's a little better. All right, Hunter, I believe in you. This is going to be the one. You're going to land directly in that pile again. Right? Right? No! Straight down in the corner. Oh, man. Oh, no. All right, maybe we make these all closer together. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, let's move this over one more. And then this over 2. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, right? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no. Get rid of some of the grass. 2 more. And we've got a hydrate redeem. Oh gosh, there's so much happening. Matt landed. Very nice landing there, Matt. So clappies for Matt. Clappies for Matt. Snowboarding. Oh, look at that. How cute. It's like it's a little mountain. Oh. Oh, that was another landing. Who was that? Iron Knight. Iron Knight, those clappies are for you too. Good job. A low score. Very nice. But Eldon has redeemed a hydrate. So you know the drill, guys. Grab your water. Let's all have a big old sip of water together. It's important to hydrate. I asked my grandma about the weather. She said it's like the north of the US. Oh, where you are with the fog? We get pretty foggy in some points of the year. I'm in the northeast of the US. So, yeah, we sometimes get pretty foggy. It's right now in Freedom Units, it's 38 degrees, it looks like. Or that might be a little outdated. Sometimes it doesn't refresh. Upper 30 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that translates to for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there. I'm gonna move some of these sunflowers. Two. And get rid of this one. Then maybe we can put this one on the diagonal. It's dark. Let's sleep. I see monsters. There is rain, there is air, and there is fog. It's a hurricane. No, that's not a hurricane. Unless there's wind. Does it get foggy during hurricanes? I feel like the wind would move around the fog. But what do I know? I'm not a meteorologist. Okay, let's make street lamps. So then that goes. That goes. I'm out of food. That's why I'm walking slow. There. 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 Or you know what? We could move all of these over a couple. Because it doesn't need to be right at the entrance. It can go over 1 or 2. So let's do that. And then I feel like these will be more evenly spaced. I don't want this dirt all around it. Okay. Now this one can move over a couple. Boop. Oh, crap. Which one was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I'm gonna do this one here. Then maybe this will be about 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Oh, that works. We could probably squeeze one more in on this part of the path in that case. I feel like these are pretty far spaced, but maybe not. You know, let's see how it looks when we put the things on. I'm gonna need to make a few more of the stone walls, I think. But we have a crafting table over here somewhere. There's one. All right, I think 15 will be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be enough to do at least 7. We'll make more if we need to. 1 and 2, 2, 2. There we go. 1 and 2. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. No, I'm gonna be 1 short. Let's make it. Well, I hope that the weather's not causing any problems for you. I don't mind foggy weather as long as I'm not, like, traveling in it. And it makes for some really cool pictures sometimes. There we go. Oh, I can't reach the other one. Okay, so now from there, what do we do? 1 wood on top. 1 fence, gate, fence. Is that what we did? Yeah, fence, gate, fence, then lantern. Let's pick up some of the junk, I guess. Random stuff floating around in here. We'll need the fences, the fence gates. And I'll probably have to pillar up to put these up, so. Let's go fence. Fence gate. Fence and lantern. Okay. We're in business. We're in business. Fence gate. Nope, not like that. Not like that. Oh, you just joined the Discord? Wonderful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a relatively new Discord. So, you're one of the earlier people on there. We like sharing like pet pictures and some food and what we're doing in video games. So, feel free to check things out and share what you want to share on there. As long as it adheres to the rules. Thank you for joining. Oop. I really didn't want to pick up that egg. Fence. Fence gate. Fence. Lantern. I like it. And then this one. Can we get up? I can do it. I can reach that. I can do it, I believe. Oh, I went too far. All that parkouring I did yesterday. Okay. Fence. Fence gate. Fence. Fence gate. Fence. This one, there's nowhere for me to jump, so we'll just have to do this. Do this one. Yeah. Where did I just put that? Behind me? How did I do that? All right, now we have lighting posts. Let's see. All right, we've been going a little over an hour now. I think I'm going to take a short little bathroom break and throw up the BRB screen for a few minutes, but you can feel free to play Dropped in the meantime. Get up, stretch your legs, refill your water, grab a snack, do what you gotta do, and I will be back in just a few minutes. Okay, BRB. Okie dokie, we are back. Hunter landed again? Oh my gosh, look at that. 95. Hunter, you've been killing it. Your drops are landing left and right. And Keldon landed 2. Clappies, clappies. Clappies for all the successful lands. I should try. Let's see, what can I drop? Let's drop the cozy emote. My cozy little alien. Go, alien, go. Mulder, what are you doing, bub? I disturbed him when I got up. He's a scaredy cat, so if anybody moves... Oh, right on the edge. I made it. I made it. Yeah, he's a scaredy cat, so anytime there's movement, he's like, do I need to run out of the room? What are you doing, baby? Want some scritchies? You coming over here? Oh, you want to see if we can get you on the camera? I'll make you move the mic out of the way. There he is. In the corner of the camera. What's up? My sweet boy. Oh, you can see part of him. Oh, and I guess we can minimize that. Oh my gosh, there's a second kitty. Scully, what are you doing? You wanna come up here too? He's on the floor. It's kitty central right now. Scully, you wanna come up on the stool? Here, we can move the stool over here for you. Come here. Scully, baby. There's Mulder. Look at his tail. Isn't he handsome? Are you a handsome boy? Yes, you are. Come here, I want to pet you. He doesn't want pets, apparently. He's just gonna chill over there and be handsome. What did I miss? Oh, Sky's here. Hi, Sky. How you doing? Allie will lay on her back on the floor and let me push her around with your foot like you're sweeping the floor. Yeah, these two are not quite like that. Scully is a little more forgiving. You want to say hi? Can I pick you up? I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get Scully. I'm gonna scare Mulder when I do this, but what can you do? Scully, no. Baby. Scully. Come here, baby. Come here. I'll show you. I'll show you Scully. Oh, what's this? I tricked you. I tricked you. I tricked you. I tricked you. Oh my goodness. This is my boy. This is Scully. Where are you going? You want to go back down? You don't want to be held? Just say hello. Just say hello. This is Scully. He doesn't want to be held. They're not lap cats. They're not lap cats. But this is Scully. Right? Is you? Good boy. He's a good baby. He'll very rarely let you hold him. Mulder hates being held. Scully is a sometimes held kitty cat. You want to sit in my lap? You want to sit in my lap? Ah! I got him. I got him. Want to say hi? Say hello. You can't really see him on the camera. I'm not gonna be able to reach it to move it. But he's here. Oh, we got a new chat. Hold on, I can't read that from here. Augustin, hello, how are you? Welcome in. How you doing? I got a lap cat it's a rare occasion. I wish you could see him. I think this camera takes up, oh wait. Oh, nope, that's not the right screen. Can we? Is there any more to this camera? Nope, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Why couldn't you be a little taller? Huh? I guess this is the whole screen. Or not screen, stream, because I can't do anything with him in my lap. You gonna go over on your stool? There you go. Good boy. Good boy. There he is. You're fine. Glad to hear it. I'm doing all right. It was a bit of a hectic morning, but we're all right now. Streaming makes everything better, as do the kitty cats. But we're really supposed to be playing some Minecraft right now. That's what we're doing today. Minecraft. Oh yeah, we have the decals on the windows that kind of put some rainbows on the walls and stuff when the sun shines through them. They're really cool. It's like it's just a film that's on the windows, and it makes all sorts of little rainbows. And I got a couple crystals that also do that. And there's a I don't think you can tell from here. No, it's too bright. You can kind of see some of the dots on the wall. That's from my disco ball in that window. This window has like a bunch of crystals and a disco ball in it. And then there's a door right here that also has the window film on it to make it rainbows in here. So when the sun shines through, you can kind of see them a little bit. This is my happy space. Looks like the sun's going away though, as I was talking about that. It's a little bit cloudy today. Oh, but it's lovely to have everybody here in chat. Welcome in, Augustine. I appreciate you being here. Big hug from Buenos Aires. Right back at ya. From not Buenos Aires. From the United States. Alright, shall we take a big old sip of water again together while we wait for this to load? I wonder if any kitties will come back to the kitty cat cam. I may have scared Mulder off. There was a little too much movement for his liking. Oh wow, it's already almost 11 a.m. Where's the day going? I started a little late today though, with the hecticness that I've mentioned. What did you say? Did you think that you're in South America for a second? No, I was reading Augustine's message that said big hug from Buenos Aires. So I said big hug not from Buenos Aires. I know where I am. Sometimes. Occasionally. Alright, so that does a pretty good job lighting this area up. I can get rid of this. We'll probably have to do... Oh, creeper. We'll have to do this when it's not dark out. That's what. We'll probably have to do some of the hidden lighting under the moss and stuff. But let's sleep real quick, get rid of the mobs. I don't need them blowing up everything I just did. Yeah, Calvin, I moved to Buenos Aires, didn't you know? Didn't you know? We just took the whole house. Twitch gave me a free moss mask in Minecraft for being here. Oh yeah, one of the free the drop things you can get. That's fun. I think we have that too, but I'm not wearing it. Edit character, body. No, not body. Style. Headwear? Is that where this is? I don't see it. Where is it? Is that a face item? There it is. That's what you got. That's what you got. It's a little creepy. It's a little bit creepy. A little creepy. So anyway. forgot about that. It's kind of fun that you can get some, like, cosmetic items just for watching people play games, though. Alright, so we're gonna get rid of this torch. I might put one back here for now, light up the edges a little bit more. One back here. Until I get around to placing lighting underground. Just make it a little safer. Oh, it was a sheep. I'm like, what is that? Just a sheep. And up here's been a problem. Actually, look at this area. So up here, anytime there was a rainstorm and I was trying to get skulls, we'd come up here and we'd charge creepers. We'd charge creepers and we'd blow up a bunch of mobs, and that's why there's just craters everywhere. Okay, that's a cave. That one's not me. But this is where we came to explode the creepers, and you can tell. You can tell that's what we did here. I was like, this is far enough away from my house. I won't care about this area. Now I'm like, I probably need to come back in and refill this in a little bit. Because it's a little much. Because it's all gravel. Okay, and this is the tunnel we're working on. Can I just put that up there for now? There we go. Put that up there. I think we're gonna do just lanterns from the ceiling, but I kind of want to make this look better first. But I think we'll do like that, because then you can... Actually, no, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Maybe we'll do lighting in the walls. Dig one more out and put something there. It could just be lanterns. This doesn't have to be anything spectacular. I don't imagine we'll be going through this tunnel all that frequently. But I want this to be like open glass going over. And then we'll dig out a little room here to put like a bed and an ender chest and some stuff like that. So let's fill this in a tiny bit. Make some space for us to actually carve out that room. So maybe we'll do glass like that. Get rid of this one. 1, 2. I'd probably make this stone as well. Where's my shovel? Actually, let's put some stuff down. Let's put some stuff away. Everything we were using for the lamp posts can go in here for now. There we go. You love the craters? I'm gonna have to fill in some of them, I'm afraid, because maybe not so much. A couple of them over here I kind of want to fill in a bit. But charged creepers make big explosions. Why I thought I should do that this close to my house? I don't know. That was silly. So we usually do like just a little alcove. Let's see, that leaves one there, 1, 2, 3, and that leaves one there. That'd be kind of cool if we put a bed around here. Ender chest and a barrel. And then we fill this in with glass. Let's turn this to stone. Alright, I think we're gonna go glass to there. Should we make this stone too? Oop. Make that even. Oh, this isn't even. This should go out one more. Like that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe we do this whole thing like glass right there. Glass. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that's what I think. And we have a resource pack on that makes glass more transparent. Is that filled in? It's harder to tell where the glass is. Okay, I think everything's filled in. And I feel like rather than the full blocks, we'll do like some type of wall support here. At least we're safe now. Safe from the outside world. We should go get a bed. And I'll leave an ender chest here. Do I have wool? I have wool. Maybe we'll just make this a white bed. A crafting table here would probably be good. Maybe we'll put that in the wall behind the bed. Do I have wood? Tiny bit of wood. We need that and that. Make a crafting table. That can make the bed. The bed can go there. And I kind of want a barrel, which I think I have barrels in this. I have one barrel.
I'm a little bit.
Oh gosh.
I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit of la 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 la. A little bit of Lexus.
Oh, that's a fun one. Thank you, Hunter. Really bringing the vibes up here.
Ew, no, David.
Ew, yes, David. Oh, we found all the sound effects, have we? All the little sound redeems. Yeah, all the ones that say AC are Animal Crossing sounds, so like the joy sounds and the clapping. Ah, yes, and a classic. The classic villager. Oh, we got some drops happening. I thought the momentum from that one would have kept you going, Keldon. Oh no, Eldon's down in the corner. Oh. So it's not like a fantastic view here, but like if we're sleeping, can sleep here and see the sky outside. I think that's kind of fun. More fun than if there wasn't anything there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You ran out of juice. Oh, for the drop. I thought you meant like actual juice.
You're my family and I love you, but you're terrible. You're all terrible. I don't say that.
Well, that's all you say.
You kind of do.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I think we'll do like that. Maybe we should set this back one more. No, that's enough. And then 2 points away from another. Oh, well, they add up pretty quick. You'll have more in no time. Okay, so we might just keep this very stony. Maybe we'll do like gravel in the floor as the path through here. But I guess we should maybe get rid of all this copper first.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Oh man, I wanted to use Silk Touch. I accidentally used Fortune. Oh well. Oh well. There's caves somewhere on the left here. I can hear the mobs. Okay. So let's see. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. This is not even. But we started going that way.
A
Ooh.
platypus?
Harry the platypus. So basically, this is just lines from all my favorite shows. Lots of noises. I hope they're not too intrusive. Cat's back. Oh, it's bath time, apparently. At least he was kind enough to turn his butt away from the camera this time. I hear zombies. But they can't get us.
Hey, listen.
Joe's going live at 12 today. Okay, so I get an extra hour. Good to know. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate the update. Oh, look at the little zombie out there. Look at him. Not zombie, drowned. Look at him. He's got an armadillo scoot. How'd you get out there with that? He's never gonna despawn. Hold on, we gotta go get rid of this drowned. I guess I could have just broken the glass. Thank you. Why are there armadillo scoots everywhere? Are the armadillos just falling to their death? What is happening? Joe planning for early so she will be on time. Yes, this is an earlier day. She's normally live at like what, 3 p.m. Central? Okay, so we've got a little area set up. We're gonna make this look cuter eventually, but for now it is functional. And that is good. I want to make this tunnel look a little more intentional with the curve. So let's see if we go like this. There we go, a couple blocks, maybe every 3 we bring it in one until we hit that point. 1, 2, 3. No, that's not gonna work unless we start way earlier. I want to make this very gradual. Let's start about here. 1, 2, 3. And then we go in 1, 1, 2, 3. In another 1, 2, 3. Inward 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How would this work? 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I want this to be 3 wide at any given point. So this has to go too. Right? This is only 2 wide.
If you're not real, then how come I feel this way?
Little babies.
Come here.
Oh, I see. I see. That's why. We've got to dig this out more first. Then I'll know what we're working with. Lots of digging today. Lots of mining. Got your points. So some of the people here have found very creative ways of using the sound alerts. We've got anytime someone lands, pretty much, Matt tends to redeem the Animal Crossing victory sound, the doo 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 doo. And when I make mistakes and leave stuff on the screen that's blocking our ability to see the video game, Matt usually yells, "Hey, listen at me." Hi, Kitsuro, how are you? You may or may not have goofed. What happened? Joe is Joe Plays Violin. Do I have a command for Joe? I don't. So we'll just do a shout out. Joe Plays Violin is one of my favorite places on Twitch. She's an incredibly talented musician. I almost called her museum. She's an incredibly talented museum. She plays violin, obviously, but she also plays guitar and piano and the banjo and washboard and egg and some accordion, and she sings. So Joe is Joe, and I'm one of her mods, as is Matt. Matt is also one of her mods. She plays a lot of video game music and she loops it a lot of the time. She makes loops with all those instruments. Loaded question, but does she perchance play violin? My goodness, Jen, you are correct. She does play violin. She has a secret museum in the Shame Closet. Yes, the Shame Closet is both the mod office and a museum. Can confirm. Sadly, she doesn't. Don't lie, Matt. Matt is also one of Joe's mods. But Joe's stream is my personal favorite stream on Twitch, so I'd hang out there all the time, even if I wasn't her moderator. Downloaded an overhaul mod. Oh, thought it was a chill fantasy RPG mod. Oh no! Oh gosh, that sounds terrifying. Good luck with that. Good luck, Kitsuro. Also, hi, Jen. I don't think I said hello to you, but I hope you're doing well. Good luck. That's all I got for you. I don't know what else to help you with there. Oh, edit, undo, uninstall. I haven't personally messed around with mods and stuff. I have just some very basic resource packs on here, and that is the extent of what I've done regarding changes to Minecraft. All right, so this is 3. So 1, 2, 3. I guess maybe we'll go 3 more before we start. 1, 2. There. We'll start bringing the wall in. Probably. Leave a 3x3 square so that's easy to turn. Right? Because then 1, 2, 3, we'll start digging out this part. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then so we'll go 1, 2, 3, and then this one will start coming in. Yeah, okay. This is the gradual way that we will make this tunnel. We need to have the curve in it, but I don't want it to be like super intrusive. So 1, 2, 3, then this will come out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Just a lot of counting. That's what this is. A lot of counting. Three. Did I mess up? Oh, this isn't supposed to be here. Alright, 1, 2, 3. I think I'm gonna sneeze. Pardon me? Me no lie, me bend truth. Yes, absolutely, Matt. That was not a blatant lie at all. It's time for more drops. Hunter's on top of it. Hunter knows exactly when to start dropping again. I'll drop the little alien spaceship this time. Here I go! There I go! Will I land? Let's find out. Maybe? Oh no. Oh, I did land! Yay! Yay me! Oh, and here goes Sky with a little festive emote. That's cute! Is that like a public one? No. I was hoping that was one I could have. Alright, so let's fill this in. This is how we're gonna do this. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. There we go. Alright, now it's pretty gradual. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Alright, alright. So this will go like that. This will go 1, 2, 3 like that. This will have to be dug. Alright, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. All right, bring this in. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, yeah, that'll be really easy on a horse, I think. Now to fill in all the digging I've done. I should have planned before I started digging. But you live and you learn. You live and then you learn. By living. Through life, we learn. I think I got that one. Sharing a chat on a collab stream. Oh, I've never done a collab stream like that. That's cool. I saw that's a feature now. That's like a recent thing, right? I haven't messed with the stream together stuff. Pretty sure I actually have it blocked. we want to make the... Do we want to leave this just as stone, or should we do some stone bricks in it? Should we leave it natural? Maybe just do some stuff in the floor, like some cracked stone bricks and some gravel and stuff to make the path. And how do I want to handle the lighting in here? Took us a couple tries to figure out a way to get it to work. Ah, yeah. You live by living, and you learn by living. I'm just babbling, guys. My brain's fried this morning. I had to use all my brain power to deal with the bank. And now I'm counting. Like, what's going on? We ended up sharing our chats, then muting the rest and using Discord because the voice controls are awful. Ugh. Hopefully they'll improve upon it. I know it's like a newer kind of feature. I just don't know how I would go about using that. It's not like... I don't really stream with people very much. Jules and I have done one in-person game stream together. That was actually fun. But that wasn't anything that required any of those tools. Computers are in the same room, so we all need the oh, wow. Yeah. That can get a little messy. Sometimes my partner's office is across the hall from us here. He has his own office in there. And if he's not listening to whatever he's watching with headphones, I can hear him, and sometimes my mic will pick up his audio from the other room. And I'll just be like, I'm just gonna shut this door so that I can, you know, not have what you're watching being picked up on my stream. That doesn't happen too often, though, because he's usually at work while I'm streaming. Okay, I think maybe we'll do like a gravel path through here. Just so it's not solid stone all the way. But let's get rid of this stuff for now. Don't really want the granite. And then I'll figure out what I want to do regarding lighting in here. I guess we could do like... We could do the lighting in the ground. We could do carpets. The moss carpet goes really well with tuff. What if we do the ground as tuff and mix in the pale moss carpets to cover up lighting? I think I want to do that. I have a whole bunch of tuff. Let's use it. Let's go put some stuff away. I'm going to go into the mines real quick to put away all this stone, because I'm not going to need quite this much, and we're going to get a bunch when we dig stuff out. Never done a solo stream, only tried to collab one for fun. You know what? I don't think I knew that you streamed, Sky. Let me give you a follow. Was it Minecraft? Were you streaming Minecraft? Your little about says it was Minecraft. You don't really? Well, I followed you anyway. That way, if you decide you'd like to do it again, maybe I can pop in. Oh, very cool. With Kirgan. Nice. Well, if you end up doing it again, I'd love to check it out. I gave you a little follow there. I'll keep an eye out for it just in case. Just in case you decide to. Alright, let's put away a bunch of this. Cobble. Do I have one for gravel? Gravel. Granite was here. We were going to use the coarse dirt a bit in the path, so I'll hold on to that for now. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. Oh, and this is a whole bunch of stone we can put away as well. Oh my god, so much stone. It's a regular piece of dirt. I guess I'll leave this stuff in here for now. And a single oak plank. See, Iron Knight says it was a great stream. So, if you ever want to do it again, I'd love to watch. I'm much better at modding than streaming. I kept wanting to type in chat instead of talking. That's funny. I feel that, though. I started out moderating. I didn't stream until I'd been moderating for a while. It wasn't until, like... So I've been streaming for a couple years now, on and off. But this past, like, 6 months, I've been a lot more active with it. Since the summer. But a lot of mod love to you. It's not always easy. It's not always easy. Mods help keep things on track. And in order. And also cause a little bit of chaos every now and again, you know? You gotta do that. You gotta have a little chaos for fun. I like hanging out in your streams. Thank you. Glad I found you on Legends. Oh, I'm so glad too. That was so much fun. I'm so glad that I got to be part of that. And I'm glad you found the stream. It's been really nice having you here and seeing everybody else's chats too. Have you told Pencils he's meant to keep things on track? No. No. I learned everything I know about modding from Pencils. Pencils is a chaos mod. Also, if anything goes wrong, Pencils isn't one of my mods, but if anything ever goes wrong here, it's always Pencils' fault. Alright, what am I doing? I'm putting stuff away. We've got stone to put away. Good thing we made this gigantic storage hall, am I right? Alright, I'll keep one stack just in case we need it. The andesite I probably don't need. I probably don't need the gravel, but I'll keep that as well just in case. Let's put away the andesite. Actually, the andesite would probably mix in nicely with... Maybe we'll put a little bit of that in the walls. I changed my mind. Give me the andesite back. We'll leave one stack in there. I might use that in the walls a little bit. We're going to need to grab more lanterns, it looks like. And do I have tuff down here? No. We're going to have to go in the house for that. Oh, it's so much nicer going down into the mines and the storage area now. It takes a little while to walk, but... Oh yeah, we got a bird now. I forgot about the bird. Hi, bird. Whee! That's kind of loud. Woo. All right, I believe we have a bunch of tuff upstairs. Tuff. And is this just a whole shulker full of regular tuff? It is. Okay, let's take this. We'll take that shulker and the new shulker. I remember when we jointly added the pencils command on both our streams. It's a beautiful command. We don't have too many commands here, but that is one of them. I think we're actually on 2 pages of commands now, if I'm not mistaken. We've got... Oh, those aren't my commands. It always brings me to Joe's. Commands. I have... 2 pages of commands now. So what's it, 25? How many are on this one? 1, 2, 3. Is there a way of seeing how many? It's not a second page. I think I have like 35 commands now. That's actually quite a few. Oh, and then the Seribot ones. I wasn't even thinking about that. I think it's just Dad Joke, singular, that might pull that up. Oh, let's read the cat facts. Cats bury their feces to cover their trails from predators. And that's why my cats don't bury theirs, because they do not feel threatened. Anybody else have that problem with their cats? Mine just scratch the side of the box forever and never actually cover anything up. They're not very good at that. Dog fact, the phrase raining cats and dogs originated in 17th century England. During heavy rainstorms, many homeless animals would drown and float down the... What? No, that's not fun. That is a terrible fact. That is a horrible fact. Why? I'm going to turn off dog facts if that's what they're going to do to me. That's terrible. That's terrible. I'm deleting that. Get wrecked, Seribot. Huh. Ah. I don't like that fact. I hate that fact. These aren't very fun. Whereas the capybara fact, that's fun. Capybaras love to roll in the mud to keep cool and protect their skin from the sun. Right? Why are the dog facts so terrible? Cats prefer to remain non-confrontational. They will not fight to show dominance, but rather to stake their territory. Cats will actually go to extremes to avoid one another in order to prevent a possible confrontation. I don't know. These two seem to like aloe groom each other quite a bit. Kind of get into some scuffles every now and again. Apparently. I am both a cat and a dog person. Right? I hope that's not true. Why were they all drowning? I don't understand. We need a happy thing. Can we let's have a dad joke. Why does Norway have barcodes on their battleships? So when they get back to port, they can Scandinavian. That's better. That's better than all of the facts we've gotten. Same, Matt. Same. Also, we're a little low on food. Can we replenish that? Oh, this is also low. I think we have a bunch of steak over in the farm area, though. We can replenish from there. Boop. How many do we have in here still? Oh, this one has plenty. This one has over a stack. Whee! Whee! Anyway, sorry about all those terrible facts we learned today. Those were not fun at all. Not fun at all. Very depressing. It's been a rough day, man. First the bank, then the cat puke, then all of the cat and dog facts that are very depressing. What's happening? Oh man, I forgot to grab the moss. We gotta go grab moss. And we need some more lights too, if this is what we're doing. Yep. Alright. One moment, please. We need to get a whole bunch of moss. Can we do this? Sometimes I try to see how far I can get down the stairs by gliding. Okay, I can't access the area through here anymore. Okay, there we go. We shut that door. Do we think they'll go through here? Let's just do that. Now surely they won't. Oh no, now I can't access that. Ah! This is fine. Let's just break this and move this chest into this corner. Where'd that other door go? And this is where we make moss, but it also happens to be slime chunks. Little fun fact. It's a little dark over here. It said nothing like that. Are the cat and dog facts lying to us? Because I hope Saribot wouldn't do us like that. You're gonna ask trustworthy Google. Okay, please tell me that these are lies. I don't want this to be true, but I also don't want Saribot to lie to me. I trust you, Saribot. Oh, wow. This moss overtakes that moss. I didn't know that was possible. I wonder if it works in reverse. If I grow this, does this take over that? It does! Okay. That's good to know. And there's some sort of zombies in the walls somewhere. This is fine, I'm sure. Alright, I want specifically this carpet. How much we got? That's a stack. How many carpets does that make for us? Oh, more than a stack. Okay, perfect. Let's put this stuff back in here for now. The moss can go in here. That's all the bushes. That's the stuff for that. Okay. I'll leave this here for now. And we'll take the pale moss blocks with us. Also, I think we need to go to the Nether briefly and get some of the frog lights. Some frog lights to use for the hidden lighting. So I'm going to put some stuff in here. For now. Oh, I can't put a shulker box inside a shulker box. What am I doing? What am I doing? That's not how this works. So those will stay with us. Let's put the chest plate on and we'll grab my helmet. And let's go to the Nether briefly. Therium was derived from an early phenomenon. No! No, I hate it. I hate it. Can we, can someone go back in time and revise history so that no cats or dogs ever drowned, ever? No drowning. No drowning. No. 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 That's what I say. Alright, here is where we make frog lights. So we gotta go outside and deal with all the creatures, including the gas. No, 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 don't you dare light my house on fire. Not my house, this, whatever this is. Get wrecked. No, you two. You also get wrecked. No. No, you stop it. Go away. Ugh. Luckily, I made this out of stuff that... Dang it, now I'm on fire. Why'd I walk through it? Why'd I walk through it? What am I doing? Did I forget how to Minecraft? I think I forgot how to Minecraft. Alright. All the magma cubes this way. Including you. Alright, everybody, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Alright. This way. This way. Alright. Oh my god. Jules! That's so much louder. Thank you for the biddies. And for the good use there. Come on. Alright, any more? Alright, there's one. Come on, let's get some more Froggo lights. Come on, this way, this way. No, 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 no. Stop it. Ah! Everything's on fire. Ugh. This way. Hungry Froggos. Come on. Eat the magma cube. Eat the magma cube. There you go. Someone ate it. So this is my incredibly inefficient manual froglight farm. But it works. It does work, believe it or not. Give me that arrow back. Oh, I didn't mean to hit you, Magma Cube. Oops. Everyone this way. Everyone this way. Single file. Y'all want to meet some frogs? Ah, look at the frogs. Look at them. Get him. Get him. Get him. Okay. Let's get some more. You want to come this way? Ah. Little guys, please. Little guys only. You must be this short to ride this ride. You're a big boy. Come here. Come here. Ah. See, it's super efficient. Super duper efficient Froglight Farm. We get like... $100 an hour. Ish. Are there still some? No. No, guys. All right, everybody together. Let's go this way. This way, this way. All right. Did you already have your meeting, Jules, or are you waiting on that? Alright, that's all of them. Let's get a few more. No! Hey, buddy, you want to come this way? Look at over here. Look at me. Come this way. Ugh. There's a whole army of them. Can we make them all into the tiny ones? Successfully? Oh no, too many of them. Too many. Everybody this way. So many sounds. So many sounds. Meeting just ended. Gonna go grab lunch in the city with Quinn before my appointment. Very nice. Do you know what you're going to get? Also, thank you for the alert on the ad break incoming. In about 2 minutes, we're gonna have an ad break. I'm gonna finish up these guys here. And then we will throw up the BRB screen, take a little break, fill up our waters, get a little stretches in. Oh, we're in an ad break. Never mind, we're in the ad break. Come on, guys, please eat these guys so we can go on a quick break. Any second now. Any second now, they'll eat the Froggos. I mean, the Froggos will eat the magma cubes. Is that everybody? Did we get everybody? Okay. BRB. We're taking a break. BRB. Feel free to drop in the meantime. Okay, we back. Thank you for your patience on that. Sorry, I'll try to stay on top of the ad breaks moving forward. I try to pay attention, but I don't always see the little pop-up. Like Jules said, it would be a lot nicer if the pop-ups for the warnings about the incoming breaks were a different color than the actual ad break pop-ups. Which I don't even think you guys see that as a viewer. I think it's just the streamer and the mods that see it. But what can you do? Hi, Hoagie. How are you? Happy Thursday, bud. Hope you're doing well. Time for me to drop. What do I want to drop? Zeri dropped egg, so I'll drop Walter. Doggo. Come on, bounce. Oh no, will it make it back to the other side? I'm afraid it's descending too quickly. No. Walter looks like he really wanted to get into that snow pile too. Maybe next time, Walter. Why did my paintings just break? What just happened? Why did the paintings just pop off the wall? Did the ones in the other areas pop off too? Why did all my paintings just fall? What? I don't even know where everything was. This was like the skull, I think. Why did that just happen? I loaded in and all the paintings popped off. The one in the other room probably popped off too. Wasn't this the skull one? Wasn't that one? That's what that one was, I think. There's nothing in this room. That was so weird. And I'm betting the one that's on the wall in the little... Yup, this one fell too. What? One moment, please, while I put back all of my paintings. Jules, did you have any paintings in your area? Maybe I should go check hers before they despawn, just in case. I don't know if her area would have been affected. The paintings loaded in before the blocks. That seemed to be what happened visually. That was so weird, though. I've never had that happen before. I think Jules's area is far enough away that it shouldn't have happened to her, but let's just make sure. Now, her paintings are still on. Jules, are you listening? Like, are you here right now? Because I think I remember you saying something about the paintings popping off in your entryway before over there. Like somebody had broken them. I wonder if that's what happened to you. Because Sky's saying that it's happened before. That's annoying. Oh, I hate it. Twice in the same build, but only about half of the paintings disappeared. So weird. Alright, how was this set up? I think that there was a space there. There. Was it a 3x3 painting? Oh, dang it. I think that was the one that was in here, right? Because of the yellow? I think. Pretty sure that's the one that was in here. Did anybody happen to clip that? I didn't clip it. I never remember to make my own clips. So we put that one back, and then I guess it's just the 2 in here. So that was like 1, 2, 3. I think it was 2 3x3 paintings. One when we come right in here, so maybe it was like that with 2 spaces on each side. Oh, how was this one set up? I don't remember which one was there. I know this was the one with the, with that. Which one was this? That's the same one. It definitely wasn't that one. Don't think it was that one either. Oh, I don't remember which paintings were here. That's really frustrating. No, we're going with Trash Panda. I like Trash Panda. And I hope this is centered, because before when you'd come into the room, you'd see that painting first. Yeah. I guess that's how things were set up in here. Though that space is weird. Is this how it was? Does anyone remember? Should that be over one more? So there's 2 spaces between it? Can I please have the one with the checkerboard floor? That doesn't feel right now. But whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Dang Minecraft bugs. Messing up my gallery wall. What a day. Hi, Clay. How are you? Paintings are very annoying to place. I agree. But lovely to see you, Clay. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in. It was nice seeing your stream yesterday. For those of you who don't know Clay, PlayStation. Clay is a lovely variety streamer. He does a variety of karaoke and video games over on his stream. Just great vibes all around. Wonderful community. I highly recommend checking him out, and I will do a little shout out as soon as these guys stop attacking me. There we go. I think you mentioned that you're planning on doing more of the long drive this weekend. Is that what I heard yesterday? Hello, frogs? Are you gonna eat this magma cube, or... There you go. Thank you. We have more coming in. Whole bunch of frog lights here. There we go. This bugs me. I feel like it's not where it's centered. Now, it needs to be over one more. I'm sorry. I'm obsessing over this a little bit. We loaded into the game, and for some reason, all my paintings popped off the wall. And Minecraft paintings are a little annoying because it randomly gives you a picture. And as much as I like this one, I think that the one with the stairs was the one I had over here. That one. I think that's what was here. Those two kind of go together somehow. Yeah, I don't know. Good enough. Good enough. Stop obsessing over it. It does not matter. That's the plan. So yeah, this weekend Clay's gonna probably play some more of the long drive. Is this the farm we heard about on stream the other night? Oh, this is my Froglight farm. Yes. Farm. This is my Froglight farm. That I manually have to feed the magma cubes into. It works. It works, okay? It works just fine. It's no 1,000 froglights per hour kind of thing, but it works. It's just manual. I build, like, manual things. Sky, have you seen my experience farm with the silverfish? Because I will gladly show you guys that. Let's get one more round of these. Okay, I will show you that in just a second. Let's get these guys eaten. Because obviously people use the infestation potion, and a lot of the times either put it on like armadillos or allays. I don't like torturing the animals. So, how I do my farm... Did I get all the froglights? I think so. How my experience farm works is I infest myself with the potion. This is the Long John Silverfish farm, as named by Matt. And I need food. Just remember to keep the food on us. Here's our gear that we wear. Put all this on. We've got our Bane of Arthropod sword. We come over here. We grab a potion. Then we hop up here into my little chamber. Down the ladder. Crouch into here. And we drink the potion. And close that. And it's very loud! Hold on, we can lower the volume. Let's just do that for now. So, I'm infested, and I'm the one bringing in all of the silverfish for 3 minutes. And we have equipment that has fire protection on it, mostly. And then we manually kill them all at the bottom. I didn't want to hurt the allays or the armadillos, so we do it this way. Even though I know they'd be fine. I'm like, if I'm gonna have an experience farm, we're gonna do it this way. And there were quite a few disasters. That's why our sign down there says... Oh, wrong button. That's why our sign says 105 days since last incident. In August, when I was working on building this, my containment unit for the silverfish below was not large enough, and they were like glitching through the blocks, pushing each other out. And they were just swarming when I left the containment unit. I was like, oh no. And there were a few times that I fell down there into the mess. So that's why these and why this trapdoor over our head now, to protect us from falling off. And this also stops them from landing on my head and falling in here for the most part. So there was some trial and error, but I was like, as much as those other designs are great and effective, this does what I need it to do. Got another 50 seconds on this. And so one round of them, the area below is enough to hold the ones that spawn in from this, I've found. And then I don't have to make it a splash potion. Yes, we haven't had a breach recently. We've been good. So what, another 20 seconds or so? Exactly, 20. Oh, I keep pressing F instead of equipment just to check on it, because it does take quite a bit of damage, but then we heal it up using the experience we get from killing them. So it works. It works. Alright, potion's fading. And we're done. Okay. Now we peek over the side. And look, there is tons of silverfish down there. Tons. But they're all down there in the containment unit. And not out here where they can hurt me. So now we do a little bit of killing. And all our gear should repair. And sometimes we do the splash potions to get rid of them too. Hello? Can I have my experience? There we go. It's all starting to repair. Exactly. I have to be here anyway. There are definitely more efficient versions of the infestation potion farms. But it works for me. So now this is usually where I start putting all my stuff away. Can I have... Empty hand. Empty hand. Put on my stuff. Put all this back. That goes there. That, and that. And now we gotta get rid of the rest of them. So sometimes we do a splash potion of damage. I almost fell in. So we splash them. And that kills a ton of them. So that's much faster than manually killing them. But also, we can just do this. But it's very effective, I have to say. It is very effective. I'll never forget the horror show of our discovery of silverfish and strongholds. 3 of us went in, 2 died, my son noped out and logged out of the world, completely abandoning us. No! He abandoned you? Gotta stick together. Ugh. They're so annoying. Especially in large numbers. I kept thinking that was a creeper out of the corner of my eye. When the disasters happened, the incidents, Kisser Kong had to come in and help me because they just kept killing me. I kept respawning, coming back into the nether to try to get my stuff. They were just flooding the hallways. That's why we have safety gates now, just in case there is a breach in here so they can't get out there. It was insane. I'll show you how big of an area I had to make down here to hold all of them. once I get rid of the last of them. We're down to the last few. The only thing I wish that we had sweeping edge in bedrock. All right, what are you guys stuck there or something? Go away, go away, go away. So I had to expand it pretty far back. Otherwise, they were just entity cramming and pushing their way through here and through this. So we've got several safety measures in place now. This doesn't do anything to stop them from going, actually. Like, they still fit through there. It's silly. But it works. That's my experience farm. With the silverfish, one of the most annoying mobs in Minecraft. I don't feel bad killing them, but I do feel bad if it was an allay or a armadillo or any of the other ways that people make these farms. Hey, Seiken. Hello, hello. How are you? Happy evening to you, right? Good evening to you, I believe. What are you, 5 or 6 hours ahead of me? So that's the farm. And it works. And now we have 36 levels. And the painting's where it should be. So. It's 6 for you. You're 6 hours ahead of me. Well, good evening. I hope you're doing well. I think we should get a few more magma cubes, frog lights. Feed a few more magma cubes to the frogs, that is. Where are they all? Guys, over here. Why are you all over there? Come this way, please. Everybody this way. This way. This way. This way. Come on. Come on, silly. This way. Can you not jump? Jump this way. There are better ways. Ugh. Alright, let's get the little guys in. It's so awesome that there's so many ways to do things in this game, right? It's a lot of fun to come up with either like copy somebody else's design or come up with your own, because there's certainly more efficient ways of doing things, which is why it's nice that people share their own designs. They're like, this makes this many if you don't want to do things manually like this. But there's always like simpler ways of doing things yourself too, if you're willing to put the work in. I like that it's one of those games that leaves a lot of space for you to do things how you want to do it. Oh, why am I not using my sword? I don't want to use stake to fight the magma cubes. That's not something I want to do. All right, guys, this way. Let's go. Let's get just a few more lights, and then we'll move on with our lives. How's your day been, Seiken? Have you been up to anything fun today? Are you streaming today? I don't know if you have a specific schedule, Seiken. If you do, I'm not aware of it. But Seiken also streams. I believe it's been mostly Pathfinder recently, if I'm not mistaken. Slept good. No streaming nor schedule. Okay, fair enough. But Seiken does stream, just maybe not today. And he's good company. Especially if you speak French, because Seiken mostly speaks French. And very good English too, but... Do you speak anything else? Not that 2 languages isn't more than enough, but do you speak more than French and English? Because I feel like sometimes when people speak multiple languages, they like speak like 5 of them. And I'm like, how do you do that? French and English. Still very impressive. More than I can speak. And I took 2 years of French in high school. None of it stuck. None of it stuck. Okay, big guy, big guy, big guy. Get rid of the big guy. Get rid of the big guy. Thank you. Eat some food. Pencils is getting decent at the French, in my opinion. At least he can understand when people come into chat speaking French in Joe's channel. I'm like, copy paste to translator. Marilo is better. Alright, couple more. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. He's right in front of you. Get him. See that guy right there? That one? Anybody? Anybody want to eat this magma cube? How about you? Did someone got it? Okay. Oh, one snuck in. All right, I think we've got enough enough frog lights for now. The best French speaker in Andy's stream. That might be a stretch. That might be a bit of a stretch there, there, Matt. Almost blame pencils for that. It's a very regional language, a bit like Gaelic, same language family. Ah. Breton. Breton? 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 I missed a whole bunch of chats here. Ending the Minecraft community server run of a friend later, but not on stream. Oh, it's coming to an end, the whole server? You guys feel like you've done all you can do there? Or are you gearing up for something else? Hunter speaks Spanish, English, and a tiny bit of French. Very impressive. I took a lot more Spanish in high school than I did French. I took 4 years of Spanish, 2 years of French. I remember bits and pieces of the Spanish, but not enough to carry a conversation or understand when somebody is fluently speaking it. I'm like, can you say that slower and with more basic words? He won a competition? He obviously can't speak French better than Andy. What are you talking about? We were a lot of French speakers playing D&D at Andy's a few years ago. I wish I remembered more French. I really struggled, like, I struggled a lot with the pronunciation. Because with Spanish, I felt like the words were a lot more straightforward, if that makes sense. Like, everything, it felt like every other word, every other letter is silent in French or something. Whereas with Spanish pronunciation, it's like pretty consistent across the board in my experience. Maybe. I should honestly pick up like Duolingo again or something. I gotta do things to better myself. Learn stuff, you know? Is it even dark enough for me to sleep right now? No. What time is it? I feel like it's always raining. I also just noticed that those don't connect. That doesn't connect to the roof. Do I have another slab? That's annoying. I don't like that. Can we... What if we move this all up? Oh no, too far. Oh no, too far. Nailed it. I didn't notice this when I was building. Okay. Slab. Chain. Lantern. How's that look? I guess that's fine. Not crazy about that, like, gap, but it is what it is. Just deal with it. Just deal with it. Random egg. Sure. Ah! Throwing stuff. Don't mind me making a mess. So I'm guessing this side is also like that because I did the same design on both. Wait, is that one connected? What? That one's connected. What's different on the other side? What? Okay, like that. Does this side have stuff sticking out like that? No. And that looks fine. You know what? I think we're gonna get rid of those slabs. I don't know. When I decided to do it on one side and not the other. But that's probably fine without the slabs. Yeah, it's almost as cute. Almost. I think I forgot to close the windows. There's that. Still can't sleep. That'll work. No, not this way. We gotta go around the other way. Joe! Hi, Joe. That's the Joe I was speaking of earlier. The friend only got the server for a month, extended it another month. I have another server already on that I'll join starting Saturday. A more permanent one that changes spawn locations every few months or so. Oh, that sounds fun. Were you talking about this the other day on stream? I think I was half listening. You're a violinist. Violinists arrive only on time, not early nor late. Or whatever the line is for Lord of the Rings in English. I don't know. I have seen the Lord of the Rings movies once when I was a teenager, and let's just say that I was not necessarily paying attention when we were watching them. Maybe you were trying to decide which side you liked best. Yeah, maybe I was, and then I got distracted just like everything else I do. Clay's here. I knew that. I knew that Clay was here. But Joe, Clay's here. Clay said a lot of nice things about Joe in his stream yesterday. And about me. Like, too much. Too nice. Too nice. Stop it. I've been known to do that right before becoming distracted by something else and forgetting what I was doing. I think we are very similar in that aspect, Sky. I'll start a project and then I'll be like, oh, but I gotta do this. Oh, wait, what about that? Maybe I should clean out my inventory. Maybe we should do this instead. And then by the end of it, I've accomplished nothing. All right, let's sleep now that it's night. Finally. I like this new sleeping screen. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I like it. I don't know. It seems very cinematic now. Oh, and my Minecraft sounds, I can turn those back up again. I think we're around here-ish. Oh, you know what? I wanted to do the daily on stream today. Maybe we'll hold off on this for now. I might start working on the design off stream, but I want to go do the Minecraft event and get my daily done. For the cape. I want the cape. So let's do that. Sakin's dropping. Oh, just missed on that, huh, Sakin? Here comes Hunter, though. Maybe Hunter will land. Hunter's been landing, like, a lot lately. Oh, God. So many people. All right, what's today's daily? Is it out? Oh, it's not out yet. Did I just accidentally use that? So there's no daily to do. But look at this guy. Look at him juggling. And throwing axes? What are you throwing? A hammer? They're taking turns. Oh, they only have one hammer. Guys, I think that maybe we should invest in a second hammer. What do you think? All right, so there's no dailies to do right now. So never mind. I guess we gotta wait for the next one. So back to making our path. Never mind. We got another like half hour to kill before Joe goes live. Ooh, Joe landed. Look at that. Clappies for Joe. Have I dropped? I want to drop. Should we do another queued drop? Hold on, let me get this one in and then we'll drop. Hello? Oh no, it froze on me. Chrome? Chrome, please, may I hit enter on my chat? Did it go? There it goes. Get in the snow pile. Get in the snow pile. Oh no! No, I'm in the corner. But maybe Hoagie can win. Go, Hoagie, go! Eat that sandwich for extra fuel. No, Hoagie, too far. Alright, shall we do a queued drop? Set timer, 5 minutes, please. There we go. Get your drops in. Get your drops in. You have about 5 minutes to select a drop for the queued drop. I'm gonna do Jesse L, my boy. So we've got Hunter in the drop, Hoagie, Zeri, me. You all got about 5 minutes to pick an emote. Exclamation point drop along with an emote, and we'll all drop together. Which one of these had the bundle in it? This one. Let's just put all this stuff in here for now. Good. And I'm gonna need the tuff and the moss carpets. And I think we're gonna replace most of the ground in here. Where's my silk touch? gonna replace it mostly with tough. And then I found that I like how the moss mixes in. Put that there. So like if we put one light here with a carpet over it, like doesn't that go pretty nicely? If we're not doing this. I feel like it blends really nicely. Oh, and then it'll climb up the walls a little bit. And if we do it on the sides. All right, I don't want to have it be too uniform. So we're going to kind of place the lights randomly for now. And then we'll just throw a moss carpet on it. Maybe let's do one there. And we could totally mix just some of the moss in itself. I need to drink some water. Is everybody hydrating? Stop. Joe, stop. I love the typos. Oh, Jove's here. Hey, Jove. Mello, too. Hi, Mello. Have I said hi to you yet today, Mello? I don't believe so, but I hope you're doing well. Getting your drops in. We got another minute, I think, on the timer. 45 seconds. All right, let's see how much of this path I can put in before that starts. And I can get rid of these. And that'll be plenty lit up. And there is our timer. Last call on the drops. Last call on the drops, friends. Get your drops in. Exclamation point drop and an emote. I'm going to place just a few more blocks here. And one more light right here. And maybe we'll do one more here. All right. Are we ready? What do those blocks do? Verdant frog lights? Yeah, they're lights. They're lighting sources. And since they're a solid block, I can put carpets on them. And you won't really even know they're there other than the light that they're emitting. So yeah, it's just a lighting source, and I don't like torch spam, so I try to eliminate it as much as possible. And then over here, we got a little glass outlook. Here, I'll just do that while we do our drop. Okay, here we go, folks. We're doing a drop. We're starting the drop in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I hit myself in the side of the head. We're dropping. Oh, there's a whole bunch of us in this one. Look at us go. What'll happen? Who will land? Got a lot of bumping around in that corner. Gotta get out of that corner, guys. Oh, no. Oh, no. Guys. No one landed. Do we want to try again? We could try again. What cue drop? We didn't do the drop yet. What are you talking about? We didn't do the cue drop yet. Set timer 5 minutes, please. Thank you. We drop again. I'll do a little alien peace sign this time. All right, Saken, totally understand. You have a good one. Good rest of your day. I hope that you land anyway. What is this emote? Fail. Fail. Very cute. Oh, I get it, because it's a 1. It's a critical fail. I get it. I know a little bit about D&D and dice. I get it. All right, get your drops in. We got 5 minutes. Yes, it's in the corner this time, so hopefully we'll do a little bit better. Oh, I do like this, how you can see the sky. Oh, and you can see the very edge of the village where our, that's our entrance to the end portal is in that village. I didn't realize you could see that from here. That's cool. Maybe we'll branch the path off that way and have one section of it go to the village. Big plans, big plans. Let's keep working on this, though, while we wait for that timer to go. Get your drops in, get your drops in. Exclamation point, drop. And a little old emote of your choice. And we'll drop together. Can I do this here? I'm totally going overboard with the lights. But I like how it climbs up the wall. That one I don't want to be the same as that one, though. And I think we'll mix a bit of the moss in with the tuff. Just the regular moss. We've got a whole stack with us. So maybe? No, I don't need the torches. Let's try mixing a bit of that in. Just for a little more texture. Alright, let's break out a whole bunch of these and decide where we want to put them. No. Yeah, that kind of works. Yeah. I feel like we need another carpet. I don't need a light under it. We'll just do like that. A little bit more carpet in spaces. Like that. Oh, nope, I wanted that to be moss. Those two can be moss. Or rockets. Rockets totally work too. Sleep. Yo, you like the moss with the tuff? Thank you. Me too. I feel like the textures go pretty good together. And it's a good way of hiding the lighting. while adding a little bit of variety to it. I love the way this climbs up the walls. Ignore the mobs dying. It's no big deal. They're fine. Oh, it tries to climb up the glass? I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the climbing on the glass. Maybe... Can we get a taller one? Tall one. There we go. Maybe we'll do like that. And that's our timer, folks. Everybody got their drops in. Oh, I'm going to snooze the ads so they don't interfere here. Let's just make sure we've got everybody in. So I reset the drop. We've got Mello. We've got me. Sakin's here even though he's left. Hunter's here. Jove, Zeri, Sky. Clay's in the drop. Anybody else, if you didn't hear your name, Joe's in the drop. I wish we could shear it to use it for texturing on walls. That would be so nice. Glow lichen, yes. Glow lichen goes really good with this moss because I messed around with that in my witch's woods. We can take a look at that in a second after we do our drop. Hoagie's in the drop. Okay, last call. We're dropping in 5, and we're going to do better this time, right? 4, we're going to all land in the snow pile. 3, I have faith in us. We can do it. 2, come on, get your good drops in. And 1, we're dropping. Here we go. Everybody in the snow pile. Every last one of us in the snow pile. Everybody to the left. Everybody, come on, we're doing a good job. Get back there. Get back there. No. Oh, no. Oh, no. Joe and Hoagie, you're going the wrong way. But Clay, we've got Clay. We've got... Oh no. Sagan landed. I landed. Me. I landed. Look at me. Look at me. And... Oh, we had some chaos bits in there, and I heard a zombie in my headphones. Thank you, Hoagie. It looked like that was you. Excellent work, friends. That was much better than the last time that totally didn't happen. There was no Q drop before this. This was the one good one. Rigged. You landed. Jove, you landed. Clappies for all of the landers. All of the successful drops there. Very good. Clappies, clappies. Hunter landed, Sakin landed, Mello landed, and Jove landed. And so did I. I got the crown. It's me. I'm the dropped winner. Look at me go. Good work, friends. Good work. Oh, big stretch from Mulder. Let's look over here. Oh, where's the other screen? Oh no, I'm moving the wrong thing. Mulder, hi handsome boy. I want to give him a quick little pat. I'm gonna just give him a little pat. 1 second. 1 moment, please. This is very important. He's a handsome boy. Yes, he is. Look. He's your handsome. You want a snacky? A snacky? Oh, and here comes Scully. Scully heard the snacky bag and got the snackies. This side. Snackies. Scully, you want one? You want one? Come up here. Up here. Can you come up here? No? I was trying to get you on the picture. All right. You want one? Here you go. Oh, you got it? No one for Scully? One for Scully? Oh, we got 2 kitty cats. Here you go. Can I have your paw? Paw? You paw. 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 There you go. You want another one? Snackies? Hey, snackies. Good boys. Well, you could kind of see it. I didn't realize Scully's butt was taking up most of the screen there. Snackies for the kitty cat. You could just let them take up the whole screen. Scully! Oh, you're not really in the shop, baby. We tried. Okay, that was a kitty cat snack break. Just 'cause. Why not? They've been so good today. Aside from the throwing up on the carpet thing. But I don't know who did that. And it happens. What can you do? Okay. Got a little bit longer here. Looks like we're heading into another ad break. And I don't think I have enough snoozes to get us to the end of stream. So unfortunately, there's going to be a short ad break, about 3 minutes long. Actually, you know what? I can probably force it to be a 1.5-minute break instead. I'm going to run that. I'm going to run a 1.5-minute break. And we'll reset the drop. And hopefully that'll get us to the end of stream. I'm not going anywhere, though. We're just having the bad break. There we go. Now pre-rolls are disabled for a half hour. Perfect. That'll work. It was me. What did you do? What did you do? I missed something. All right, back to placing the floor. Sorry for those of you stuck in an ad. Unfortunately, it happens. Should we break the ones under the glass to be the same stuff? How does that look if we do that? Maybe we can do a little bit of the moss. And then we'll need some sort of lighting here. So let's put one there. Here. And here. That'll be more than enough light. Oh no, I'm out of carpets. I might need to go get more moss. I keep thinking stuff's on fire out there. It's just the sunflowers in the distance. Couldn't lurk this afternoon, but at least I got home in time for one drop. Oh, Mitchie, yeah, you haven't been here, have you? That's okay. Work takes precedence and stuff. Totally understand. Thanks for popping in. Glad you got some drops in while you could. And I think the ad break's over. Maybe? Are we still in ads? I don't see the pop-up, so hopefully the ads are over. Hello, Jojo. Why? No. No. Why are we taking more ads? Dang it. No. I just said... I don't know why more ads are running. I manually ran 1.5 minutes of ads so that we'd have a half hour of ad-free viewing. And they're like, here, have more ads. I'm sorry, guys. That wasn't supposed to happen. Not that you can hear me if you're in ads. I'm apologizing to the people who can't even hear me. Sorry about ads. Sorry. Ad wins. No, ad loses. Ad loses. Mello's not in ads. Good for Mello. I'm glad. And you're not subbed here. I don't. Do you have the Twitch Turbo thing? Okay. You only got one set. All right. I don't know what's happening there. It's telling me there's another ad break in process. I don't know. I don't understand it. Twitch is gonna Twitch. Welcome back if anyone was in those ads. Nope, I'm just a freeloader. Oh dear. But hi Jojo, I hope you're doing well. Mitchie, I hope your day is going well too. Everybody, I hope everybody's having a great day. And sorry if you got tons of ads there. I tried to do as little as possible. But I've seen some people having a glitch where they'll do a 3-minute ad break and then get 6 minutes of ads. Like it'll do 2 back-to-back ad breaks for seemingly no reason. I don't know what's up with that. But hey, maybe I made like 20 cents off ads today. Who knows? Maybe in a whole month I'll be able to afford like a coffee. We don't do the ads for money. There's no money in ads. But I run them on a schedule to try to prevent the pre-rolls because I feel like the pre-roll ads are more annoying than if I see an ad break's coming up and I take a little break and we all stretch our legs, that sort of thing. That sweet, sweet ad revenue. Yeah, all 40 cents. I think I made $2 off of ads last month. Like, total. What can you do? I don't know. I don't know, man. Alright, so this is extra bright now. Extra bright. I like it. Nice and bright. Let's take a little nap. Silly ads. I hate pre-rolls. That's why I do the 3 minutes per hour to guarantee no one has to put up with that. Yeah. Like, if you click into a stream for the first time and you immediately get hit with ads, like, I don't know. I don't think I'd necessarily stick around unless it was something I knew I enjoyed. But like, if it's a new stream to you, I feel like that scares people away more than if things happened on a planned schedule in the middle of the stream, you know? But yeah, I personally find pre-rolls more annoying than scheduled ad breaks as well. Alright, I think I want that to be moss. And these can all be tough. Should this also be tough? I feel like one moss and one tough. Good variety of textures going on in here. And it kind of feels like a little carpet over here around the bed. Alright, so let's do light here, light there and there, light, 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 light. And I want to make that just moss. Alright. Do I have enough carpets and lights to do this part? Oh, I love that. I love how it climbs the walls. That alone sells me on this update. Moss, moss, moss. Okay, and then this can be tough. I think, yeah, I'm almost out of tough. I'm almost out of the moss too. We might have to go get more of that. Hey Val, how are you? How's it going? Did we reset the drop? Are we on normal drops again? Okay, yeah, that's looking good. Let's finish up the last of the tough we have here, and then we'll go replenish supplies. Little moss here. All right, where else do we want to put moss? I feel like that should all be moss. And I want to put a couple more carpets down. I have 6 left before we have to go get more. So let's do another moss there. Make it a tall one. Make this a tall one. Tall. Tall. I know you can grow them manually as well. If you bone meal it, you can make it go to the tall version. Is this a light? Why don't we put the light under here? And do just some moss block there. Can we get this to be tall in one spot? Good enough. Good enough. I think we'll do a little bit more moss here. Planning out where we want the moss and then coming in and filling in the rest with the tuff seems to be a decent way to go about this. Alright, let's go grab more tuff. I left the shulker down there. Tuff and pale moss look good together. Yes! Oh my god, I love it. Let me show you. I did a little bit of this in the woods area as well. Let me just grab a little of this. That's probably more than I'll need. But over in my witch's woods, I started putting some spots of... So I manually placed this dark oak forest. This wasn't dark oak. This was just regular, like, birch and oak mixed in. But I wanted dark oak because it seemed kind of eerie to go with the tower, the witch's tower. So in spots, I did this. It also goes really good with the lichen, with the glow lichen, I think. I didn't use tuff over here. I don't know why I said, let me show you this. This doesn't have tuff. This is just some of the pale moss mixed in. And it goes with the glow lichen really well too, I think. It's a little bit bluish green more than the pale, but I think it goes nicely. I love everything from this new update. But yeah, that's what I did with the glow lichen. That's why, because Sky and I were talking about the glow lichen. But I think it goes really nice, and I used the glow lichen, kind of like spreading it, like the pale ones are kind of, I don't know, corrupting the area a bit and spreading to the other trees. That's my thought behind it. I don't know. I like it. I like this area a lot. And this was just a fallen oak tree, but I replaced it with the pale one. I don't know. I like it. I like what we did over here. All right, let's actually walk. Let's walk back. We can make sure the wolves are all still here. How's everyone doing? Was that tree always there? I don't remember there being a tree there. Rin Tin Tin's doing good, so Grumpy should be happy to hear that. I don't think we're gonna have the issue with with them dying. I think that they were getting stuck under the lily pads. But everyone seems to be here from yesterday. Raven's still alive. I'm sorry that you got blamed, chicken. You were innocent this whole time, weren't you? We were blaming the chicken for the dogs going missing. Because these aren't tamed wolves, because I wanted them to wander around in here. So they're just named wild wolves. And we've lost quite a few of them, unfortunately. We have to go back and get more of the red ones, the rusty ones. And a few of the ones with like the stripy texture, and I think one of them was a spotted wolf too. But this is the path we've been working on today, connecting from my stables area into the tunnel. That this heads off towards Kisser Kong's area, and also the village where the end portal is beneath is that way. So I think we're gonna connect this all that way. But for now, we're putting in a floor with the tuff and the pale moss. Those sunflowers need pumpkin friends. We have a bunch of pumpkins, but not over there. These ones, or you talk about the bigger field. We have a big sunflower field by the witch's tower, and then this little one. Thank you for the compliments on the area. I'm really happy with how this is coming along. If you get an extra rusty wolf, name it Fireheart. Maybe. We'll go looking for the wolves on stream. Oh gosh, it's very bright in here again. I'm looking very ghostly. That's okay. Don't worry about it. We're going to be wrapping up shortly. Let's just do a little bit more of the path. Oh no. Didn't mean to break that. Ah. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, yeah, so we'll place where we want the moss to go and all the lights, and then we'll come in with the tuff. Not like that. The only thing is the hitboxes on these are taller when they have the growth. So that does make things a little more complicated. Gotta be a little more intentional with my block placing, and that is not my strong point. I'm really bad at being intentional with blocks. I'm just like, spam everything, click all the things. I feel like I want a little bit more moss in here. I hear zombies. There's a cave or something to the side here. Oh, one more. Do 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 do. Get rid of you. Alright, I got 5 more carpets. I think I want to place some of these against the walls. And maybe we'll do like that with a little more moss. Oh no, that's all my moss. Just kidding, that's gonna be tough. I gotta go get more. We gotta make more moss. So I guess that'll do it for this area. We could put a couple more carpets, maybe one there. Make that a tall one? Actually, that's a tall one. Let's leave that one lower. 2 next to each other there. Actually, that's too much. Don't like that. Let's replace this like that. And then we have one more. One more we can place. Let's place it right here. And a carpet there. Yeah. I like it on the corners. Because you get like double the coverage from it. Alright, all this will be tough. And it's dark again. Hey, Grumpy! Sky says, gotta run to pick up Little from school. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much for hanging out, Sky. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Grumpy, I was just saying that Rin Tin Tin is still alive. I had just checked in over on the doggo park. Alright, I'm gonna put all this stuff in here. We'll use that when we come back. I guess I'll leave the carpet there, and maybe we'll start using those lights. I'll put the rest in storage. That'll probably get us through the rest of the path. Got a whole bunch of stuff to put away. Oh! That greatly scared me. Any more? Any more of you? Ah. I think I half expected that to be a sound alert. Dang it. Ugh. Oh, you've been doing the pale moss and the tuff too? Very nice. Yeah, we were appreciating that combo. It goes so nicely. All the tones kind of go nice. Just a little bit of texture. I'm loving it. Should have known you'd be on top of that already, Grumpy. That and glow lichen. Glow lichen also goes really nicely with it. I didn't know llamas could spawn over here. Hello. Alright, did I need this? I guess we'll leave this here for now with all the stone and the cobble in it, just in case. This is a bunch of junk we can go dump at home. Put that away in the bag of bags. Fix my inventory and actually give me half a stack of this just in case. All that we can go put away. And I'll leave that shulker for now. We'll have to do some sort of nice entrance into here too. Maybe out of wood. But yes, let's say hello. Where's Rin Tin Tin? Not you. Not you. Are you? There he is. Look at him. He's still alive. You start using mossy cobble too, and then you have a transition into a more green biome. Ooh. That's something to keep in mind. Boop. Also, I love the saplings. I absolutely adore the saplings of the pale trees, the pale oak trees. And I was gonna put a couple of the eye blossoms over here just for a little pop of orange. I thought it would look nice, and then I remembered this is where I keep my bees, and that would not be good. Actually, speaking of that, let me collect the whatever this is called. Honeycomb. Words. Words. Very hard. Alright. Gathered all that. Pop that back there. Storage. But yes, all the bees live over here. We can't have them getting all poisoned on the eye blossoms. But yeah, I'm afraid that we're probably gonna have to wrap up for today. Use basalt to transition into deep slate or blackstone. Ooh, basalt's nice. I should try my idea for a version of the pale oak willow. Ooh, a custom tree. I was thinking... So, over here where I have this entrance to my mines now, we've been working on this the past few days. I've been thinking it would be fun to... I'm gonna carry the stone and stuff through here, I think, rather than it being grassy on each side. I think we're gonna carry the stone and turn all this grass into stone and cut it off like maybe here, so then it can turn into the woods. I think that having like a tree that's kind of leaning over the entrance here would be fun, but I want to make it out of pale oak. So like roots starting here and then it kind of leaning over the top a little bit. I don't know how else to describe it, but I'm thinking of making a custom tree, and I'm really bad at custom trees. I don't usually mess with this, but I just have this vision in my head of the roots being here and it leaning over and the leaves kind of coming to the other side. But that's a project for another day. We unfortunately must wrap up for now. Oh, you can see it? Good, good, good. I think it'd be kind of fun to have like a natural kind of archway to get into the mines. But alas, it is now 1 o'clock, and I believe that I have some mod duties to fulfill. Let me just make sure that she is in fact live now. There she is, the beautiful Joe Plays Violent. Joe Plays Violent. She's not violent. She plays violin. I can talk. I can talk. So let's switch over to our ending screen. Thank you all so much for being here. Hoagie, you want to go mod? Grab your raid calls here. Hot and fresh raid calls. Oh, it would help if I actually did the command to start the raid, huh? There we go. Thank you all for being here today. We got a lot done. This really fixed my mood. I was bumming this morning. This morning was stressful, but this really turned my mood around. So thank you all for being here. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll probably be streaming around 9 a.m. Eastern Friday as well. So tomorrow, 9 a.m.-ish. For reference, it's currently 1 p.m. for me. So 4 hours earlier, we should be going live around that time. Thank you, Grumpy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate the feedback. I appreciate your company. I appreciate the lurkers too. If you are listening and you're not already following, I'd really appreciate it if you drop a follow. Also, we're on several of the socials now. We're on Instagram. We're on Blue Sky. I post there whenever I'm going live. We also post in the Discord when we're going live. That's a new community, so there's just a few of us there for now, but would love to see you over there in the Discord. We're trying to build that up. And all the VODs end up on YouTube the next day. That covers everything, I believe. I hope to see you all tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern-ish, around there. And let's go show some love to lovely Joe. The lovely and talented Joe plays violin. All right. Oh, hydrate. We got to hydrate. Zara, you're right. Hydrate before we go. One big sip of water. Okay, now we can go. Okay, bye. Bye. Bye.